Hey everyone, it's TB Shores. It is April the 22nd, 2016. It's 11:04 a.m. I'm going to get into sharing some dreams. I'm going to share one first that was one that my granddaughter had back in September of 2015 last year. And I wanted to share it then, but I was never led to. I thought I was going to, but then I was never led to. And the Lord brought it back to my mind yesterday. And after I get into it, I think you'll understand um, why He wants me to share this now. So I'm just going to get into it then. Now, this dream began my granddaughter, her dad, and her brother, her best friend, and her best friend's mother were at Lowe's. And they were shopping there. I do believe that the Lord has led me to understand that this is about family and friends. It's not just family, it's about everyone. But these people actually represent a specific group, and I'll explain that in just a moment. But anyway, they got through the checkout line, and they noticed that Savannah's friend Abby wasn't with them, so they went back to find her. Okay, that made me realize that Abby was significant. So I looked up the meaning of Abby, and it means my father's joy or joy of the Father, which I do believe is showing us that this group of people made up of friends and family are those of the Father. Okay, so they find Abby, but where they find her, the way my granddaughter described it, it's kind of like at the back of the store, and there is she's looking up at a giant spider, and it's finishing its web and going to lay eggs. And I asked her how she knew this, and she said in the dream she just knew that it was finishing its web and was going to lay eggs. So they got Abby, but they had to go past the spider to leave. And she said even though it was scary, they weren't afraid when they went past it because they knew it wasn't time for the spider to come after them yet. So to me, this clearly means that they were aware of the signs of the times. They knew the time that we're in. These are the end times, and they were aware of things that were going on. It seemed like there was something else I want to explain with that. But it just means they were aware and of what was going on and what time we're in, so to speak. Okay, they went back to the checkout with their supplies, and they, of course, they purchased their supplies. The thing I want to point out about that is Lowe's is a home improvement store, and I believe this is showing that they have gathered their supplies, what they need for building up and preparing for what is coming. Because they knew it wasn't time for the spiders to come yet, they knew something was coming. That's what I mean by they were aware. They were aware of the times that they were in, and they were aware of that something was coming. So they knew what was going on because they were of the Father. Okay. Okay, after they got their supplies, they got in the car and drove straight to the library. She said straight to the library, which we know that a library represents a storehouse of information and knowledge. It is about the written word. Okay, so the library is actually pointing us back to all that we've learned in these past videos where the Lord has had me talking about the importance of the word, about seeking him in the word, and that's how we grow our relationship. We have to seek him, and that's what this is about. They went to the library to seek knowledge and to seek the word, which we know the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. So the word also represents Christ. So they had gone straight. So they knew where they needed to go. They knew they needed to go get in the word, so to speak. They were seeking it out. They were seeking knowledge and information from the written word, from the Lord. Okay. She said when they got there, they saw a lot of people in line. The being in line represents waiting a turn. And why I think that it's important to understand that is because she said there were 3 families in this line. And I think those 3 families represent the 3 harvests. The reason the word families is used here is because we know that brothers and sisters in Christ are considered family. And I think this represents the 3 harvests because as they are brought in, they all become family. And I think that's what that's conveying here. But they have to wait their turn because there are different harvests. It's about, remember we had talked about how those that are ready will be caught away first. And then they will come back and the other groups will come in. And that there were 3, barley, wheat, and grapes, which is bride, backslidden, and the lost. And I think that's what this 3 families represents. But of course, each harvest has to wait its turn, so to speak, because the barley is ready first, and then the rest come afterwards. She said there were also other people outside who did not seem concerned about going to the library, and they were not concerned about the spiders. They weren't worried about it at all. Let's see. Okay, she said once they were in, I'm not sure. I don't know if this question was asked once they were in the library or outside, but someone had asked why they weren't running from the spiders. And she told them it was because it was not time for them to come after them yet. So clearly, twice it's been spoken here in this dream that it's not time for them yet. So clearly these are people who are aware of what's going on and what time it is, and that something is coming, but it's not time for it yet. She knew they were going, okay, once she got into the library, she knew they were going into the basement of the library. Okay, and the basement, we know the basement represents the foundation, okay? And I've chosen a rock basement here just to better illustrate that Christ is our rock. He is our foundation. So this is about being hidden in him. It's also about going deeper in the word because this is the basement of the library, and the library is about the word, and the basement is deeper. It's underneath. So it's about going deeper into the word and being hidden in that rock. It's about growing that relationship, just as we spoke in these past studies I've been doing. This library represents the word. This basement represents going deep into the word. And it also represents being hidden and protected in the foundation, which we know is Christ, our rock. And the point of going to the basement, she said, they were going to the basement of the library and stay there until the spiders had passed by. So, of course, it's about the protection of the Lord there. So I wanted to share this with you. I think it speaks very much to the importance of the word, just like we just studied. And I have some other videos that might help give you a little better understanding about the CERN connection. As we can see, CERN does look like a spider. We also know there's a statue outside of CERN that has 4 arms and 2 legs, which is the ancient god Shiva, I believe is how it's pronounced. And this, let me find that better picture I had. There, of course, there is Shiva and CERN, which does look like a spider on a web. But here we can see this represents a portal. and we've got this deity stepping through. So this laying eggs is all about this portal being opened and giving birth to many more, okay, to many more of these entities or whatever you want to call them. But I think that's what that's speaking to there. But I wanted to tell you, back about 10 months ago, go look up two videos I had that had the words discern and concern in them, and it'll give you a little bit of information on CERN. But do some homework on it if you're not already familiar with it, because there are things going on with CERN that clearly are going to affect everyone worldwide. Just as in this dream, it said that there was a giant spider that was finishing its web. If you look up CERN and birth of the internet, you will find that the internet was born at the CERN facility. It was originally for the use of scientists to exchange information, but became the worldwide internet. And this is all about part of Satan's plan. And this dream is speaking to that, but it is also emphasizing the importance of the word, just like we got through studying. I hope y'all have some insight on this yourself. If you want to leave it, that'd be great. I love you. Bye-bye.